Hello, I'm Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. Today I have with me in the studio two representatives, leadership in fact, from our graduate program. The discipline is education. I'm very excited to introduce to you all, if you're not familiar with them. I have to my immediate right is Dr. Rhonda Porter. I wanted to rename you again. And then Dr. Deborah Bembry. How are you? Very good, good. Thank you for joining me today. I know you ladies have super busy schedules, but it's important that we educate our viewers about the great programs that we have here at Albany State University, particularly in the graduate school. And so you are key leadership in those areas. Yes. Dr. Porter, I'll begin with you. Tell me a little bit about your background, your academic pursuits, and what led up to your current role. And then we'll, after we learn a little bit more about Dr. Bembry, we'll talk about the actual specific areas that you manage.
Oh, well, thank you. Again, I am Rhonda Porter, currently serving as the interim dean for the College of Education. My career began as a high school mathematics teacher.
Okay.
I attended Florida A&M University, majoring in mathematics education. I also attended Columbus State University and Auburn University. And from there, I started my professional career at the higher ed level at Florida A&M. Okay. So I returned to my alma mater. But now I am here. Opportunity arose here at Albany State in the math department, and I transitioned here.
Outstanding. And now you are you're leading a particular area as it relates to the graduate program. What is that? What is your specific title?
Currently, I am the interim dean for the College of Education.
Okay.
I previously served as the interim department chair for teacher ed, which houses all of the teacher preparation programs at the graduate level.
Okay. All right. We'll discuss a little bit more in just a few minutes about your daily responsibilities and how we can attract students to that program. Dr. Bembry, tell us a little bit about your background.
Thank you so much. Again, Deborah Bembry. I'm a proud Ram because I'm a 1974 graduate of Albany
an alum,
State.
Yes.
And I left here and I went to the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, where I got another degree, master's in early childhood.
Okay.
And from there I went to the University of Iowa, where I earned my PhD in ed leadership. And so after finishing those requirements, I have served in several states, Kentucky, Illinois, Tennessee, in leadership roles. And then I had an opportunity to come to my alma mater to work in 1990. So I just entered my 18th year here.
Wow.
No, 28th year.
Oh, very good, yeah.
My 28th year here at Albany State. And I started out, of course, as an associate professor and have moved into the chair's role since 2008, and that's my current position as chair of the Department of Counseling and Educational Leadership.
Okay. Before we get into the specific reason why we're here, which is to learn more about the graduate programs as it relates to education that we offer here at Albany State, share with our viewers. Let's try to attract some of those potential candidates for those programs. What are some of the benefits of serving as an educator based upon your experience, and what are some of the qualities and traits that you all look for in candidates?
Well, education is a field where we always need educators. We have children, and there are children all the time, and there's a need for teachers, for leaders, for counselors, for media specialists. And so we are the college that prepare those people. So that's a number one attraction, because you can feel fairly assured that you're going to have a position waiting for you when you finish your preparation. And many of our programs allow us to get into the school system so that they have an opportunity to practice. I remember when I was a student here, I went through all of my coursework and then the student teaching. Luckily, I enjoyed my student teaching experience such that I didn't get out there and think, oh my goodness, I've chosen the wrong field. And now I've wasted 3 years of training, and I don't want to do that. So we have, in special, we'll talk more in detail about our specialist program, which is performance-based, where there are embedded activities and they're actually working in the field as opposed to being over here in the ivory tower learning theory.
Gotcha. That's important, and I thank you for sharing that. And you mentioned a myriad of different positions and roles that you can pursue with an education background, the academic or the degree itself. And I think that's so important because people just look at the immediate and then equate education to then just being exclusively a teacher, and there's so many other opportunities. Yes. Right. Dr. Porter, share your insight in terms of when you are looking at individuals who are interested in the program. What are some of the traits and qualities and that you try to hone in on and see, yes, this is for you, or it may not be for you?
Right. We do look for certain dispositions in our applicants. Of course, you need to be strong in your content.
Okay.
You also need to have flexibility. You need to have a love for children. You need to have a wanting to improve the current situations in education. So those are just some things that we are always looking for in our applicants.
Okay, very good. So we'll segue into the various programs that you all offer as it relates to this discipline, graduate programs. What type of degrees do we offer here at Albany State that are undergirded in education?
Right. In the Department of Teacher Education, we have a master's degree in early childhood, in middle grades, in special education, and in secondary education.
Okay.
And those those degrees lead right into a T5 upgrade on your certificate to teach at the different levels and to teach your specific content.
Okay, tell the layman's people out there about the T5. Yeah,
T5
I was with you. Yes.
Okay, that's just a higher level on your certificate.
Okay,
from the state
your
of
teaching
Georgia.
certificate.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
Your undergraduate degree is a T4, and then once you get a master's degree, it is upgraded to a T5.
Okay, very good. And if I'm interested in either of those areas that you mentioned, what does the process entail?
Well, we have an online application process through the graduate school.
Okay.
And then we request letters of recommendation, we request your official transcripts, we request a copy of your certificate, and a writing sample.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Dr. Bembry, you're responsible for education leadership, and besides the obvious with those with that title or that name, go into a little more detail about what is involved in pursuing a position, what you look for in a candidate, and what type of opportunities can individuals look to pursue.
Okay, be glad to. First, we have 2 degrees that we offer in leadership,
Okay.
and I also will add that in my department is counselor education, so I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But we have both the master's and the specialist. We offer the highest degree that this institution has, the specialist degree in ed leadership. And so we obviously are looking for people that have characteristics and dispositions very similar to the ones that Dr. Porter has already mentioned. We need to have people who definitely are flexible, who understand that every day is going to be different when they walk into that building, classroom, or in an office, or wherever it is they need to work for that particular day. So those are those dispositions that they know they need to be timely, they need to be flexible, they need to have a connection with the community, because we need as much support as we can get in running the schools. It takes a village, and so just depending on the teachers and the leaders and the counselors and those people who are school personnel just won't help to solve all the issues that we have in our society. And we know kids and teachers bring some of those problems to the school that society is experiencing, and so we need as much help as we can get.
Great point that you made, and oftentimes the school systems are reflective of the community in which they reside in, so having that direct connection and then that understanding and being able to identify with your base, which are the students, whether you are, as you mentioned, in the classroom with them or functioning in some type of operational capacity. Dr. Bembry, same process in terms of the application if I'm interested in pursuing either of the degrees that you offer?
Very similar process through the graduate school. However, with our new Tier 2 specialist program, we have to make some additional arrangements because we can no longer run what we call a self-selection program. We are working with school systems in developing memorandums of understanding. We're trying to get a pipeline of people who the districts already recognize as having great potential to become leaders, and they recommend them to us as opposed to them to say, oh, okay, I want to get a specialist degree. And our admissions requirements are such that they have to be recommended by the district. They cannot self-select. They must already be in a leadership position and a host of things. So as opposed to just, they do have to apply in order to get the process going, but there are some extra steps in there that the specialist candidates will have to go through. And we call them candidates so that people understand the difference in P-12 students and college students. We call them candidates.
I see. The education continues. It's ongoing. That's great. I was excited to learn, before we wrap up, I would like for you all to share with the viewers, you do collaboratives all the time, and you have one that is coming up very soon?
Yes, we have the Educators Summit coming up on Thursday, September 28th, 4 o'clock. We have a guest speaker from Kennesaw State, Dr. Croft, who will be giving an opening session, and after that we will have breakout sessions where different academicians from around the city will come and present their research.
Okay, great. And the students that are in the respective disciplines as it relates to education will have an opportunity to observe these individuals, engage and interact.
It's open to our students, our faculty, staff, and teachers in the community.
Okay, very good. And give that date again, and then the location and the time.
It's Thursday, September 28th, 4 o'clock p.m. in the East Campus Billy C. Black Building Auditorium.
Okay, very good. And if you ladies don't also mind, and we'll have this level also additional screen or in the lower thirds, but just share your contact information or your email address so that individuals may, they may have some specific questions if they are interested in pursuing degrees in your areas.
Okay, we do have a college-wide email address.
That would be perfect.
And it's ASUCOE at asurams.edu.
Okay. Dr. Bembry, there are some layers to your program. Share with the viewers what that entails, what that involves.
Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we are the Department of Counseling and Educational Leadership. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the counseling program in particular. Currently, we have a 48-hour program that is required. It's higher than other master's program and graduate programs that we have, but the counseling program is accredited by KCREP. Please don't ask me what that acronym is for, but in any case, it's a national accreditation, which we're very proud for,
as you should
and very proud of it. However, beginning in the summer of 2018, next summer, they will be moving to a 60-hour program. The program is being renamed Counselor Education, but it will have 3 tracks this time. One will be school counseling, one will be mental health counseling, which is greatly needed across this nation, and the other will be in rehabilitation counseling. So we're really looking forward to that, getting that 60-hour program going. It's in the process now, being approved, I believe, at the state board. But in any case, we are really anxious to get that program going.
As you should be.
And also in our leadership program, we've recently redesigned both our master's and our specialist program. The master's program is now called Tier 1, Master's in Leadership, and it's a 33-hour program where candidates are getting their foundations and that kind of thing. We also have, and it's unique to education, I believe, something, if let's say you already have a master's in one of the teacher ed fields, such as early childhood, you don't have to get a whole nother master's degree. You can do a limited number of hours and get certified in leadership.
Very good.
So we have the degree program, which is a 33-hour program, and we have an 18-hour certificate only program that you can come in and get certified in leadership. And then our Tier 2 program, our specialist program, is now called Tier 2. It became effective July 1 of this year, and so we are working on that, and while the Wallace grant that we received is helping tremendously in helping us redesign that program. And until that program is really in place, we're still running our current performance-based program where our candidates are actually out in the field with a mentor, with a coach, and they're doing embedded leadership activities, again, because they would have got their foundation in the master's program, and so now they are serving kind of like an apprentice.
Well, great minds think alike. I was about to say that sounds very much like an apprenticeship role, and that is so critical. Oftentimes, I've observed this, and so it sounds like you certainly have made a very conscious decision to offer a very well-rounded educational engagement or the student receives that. Because it's one thing to receive all of the core and the critical information to, of course, develop that skill set that you need, but then the practice.
It's so important.
Oh my gosh, that's essential. Thank you. The on the dry, yeah. And so, you know, how many people have we seen come into the workplace and, you know, they have all the concepts and the theories, but the being able to adapt and to apply that something totally different. So that's an excellent piece.
And one final is the teacher leader endorsement. We have one endorsement program in our department. There are many teachers who are outstanding in their content areas, and they could be helpful with training other teachers or assisting teachers in the field. So it's only 9 hours. It's a 9-hour program. It's an endorsement.
Excellent.
It doesn't lead to certification, but it gives you a foot in or a foot up on getting the job for someone who doesn't have that endorsement. So we do have that teacher leader endorsement.
That's wonderful. Any added avenue is what is great. You also wanted to mention some endorsements that fall under your area.
Yes, the Department of Teacher Education has endorsements as well. We have endorsements in K through 5 mathematics, K through 5 science. We have an ESOL endorsement, a gifted endorsement, reading education, as well as online learning.
Okay, very good.
So you get an additional credit on your certificate with these endorsements. And they're either 3 or 4 classes, 9 to 12 hours.
Wow. Do you all periodically ever have just open houses? You all have a lot of information that you do?
Yes, we have open houses when the university has those
you're there.
The year.
That's great.
At the graduate and at the undergraduate level.
Good, good. It's a plethora, obviously, of opportunities that are just housed under under your area, and so I'm sure, I know I would have to be able to have a one-on-one engagement and sit down and say, tell me all that you offer, because it's a lot. And I love that it sounds like you all are certainly trying to target that non-traditional student. Because educators, Dr. Bembry and I had a conversation earlier this year, and so we have to accommodate. We're trying to bring the program at the Cordele campus, and so the conversation immediately came up, are we going to accommodate them on weekends? Because of course we're working Monday through Friday, and so we're doing that. So I had to say yes. So we're trying to play our role in building up that program. Very good. Excellent, excellent. Well, again, Dr. Porter, mention that email address once again so that people can send their inquiries and learn more.
Okay, the College of Education email is asucoe@asurams.edu.
Very good, very good. It was a pleasure having you ladies on the show. I'm excited for Albany State's future because you all are at the lead of your respective areas. So continued success. Viewers, thank you so much for joining me for this edition of Realizing Potential. I'm Wendy Wilson, and I will see you next time.